Hey everybody, let's see, let's do a little interactive live chat. And so where is, let me share this out a little on social media. Hey, Susanna, Nunya, wow, what's going on? Hi, John from Seattle. Hey, Indie Space. I was going a little earlier today, so I didn't know if you guys would all be there, but there you are. How's everybody doing this Sunday afternoon, evening, or, oh my gosh, it might even be Monday morning for somebody. Let me know how the audio is and how the video is. I'm doing this from home through a different system, or from my apartment instead of my mom's house. And last time I tried, there was some technical problems. So hopefully I was able to fix it. Hi. From New York to, I can't pronounce your name, oh my gosh, in Greece, and thank you for your kind words. Hey John, no, I was in New York City for a few days this week. I am actually back in Syracuse, leaving for LA tomorrow. I have a crazy amount of traveling coming up. Hey, Addie's in the house, and Addie will be helping to monitor while she's here. I don't really have any agenda. I was just felt like we haven't chat for a while, and I've been trying to do one a week. So I thought I would fire it up. Also, wanted to see if I could get this home camera and Wi-Fi working, and looks like the audio and video is doing good. For the love of nature, how do homeless people get water? That is a great question. I love your I'm going to pronounce Agata. That is awesome. Hopefully I pronounced it right. There's a lot of different ways people get water. It's very similar to what you see in Africa and desert countries, where not quite as bad. I'm sure in some situations it is, depending on how far you are located away from water. So Joseph, who I was interviewing in a tent camp in Orange County that doesn't even exist anymore, I interviewed him while he was getting water. I mean, they trucked the bottles, you know, the big, you know, drinking bottles that you would see at a fountain in a work. For the love of nature, if you're going to be homeless, I hope that you have reached out to service providers in your area, because there's actually funding these days to prevent homelessness. They call it rapid rehousing, and they're really trying to keep people in their apartments. So if you haven't, please reach out to homeless services. But there's a lot of different ways. I mean, many people keep their tents by some area where they can get water or bathrooms. I know that personally, when I go visit a tent community, I always try to bring water with me. You know, a couple of cases of bottled water. Hey John, I've seen the mobile showers. I haven't seen the ones in San Francisco. Lava May, I think, is the company or the nonprofit in San Francisco, also Los Angeles. There's various ones. It's a need. If you think about starting it, great. I'm sure we can use more. Okay. So, I'm able to do a close-up. I know it's scary, huh? Let's see here. So somebody just asked, and I I can't get your name, but it's a great question. The person says, in the videos, homeless people look too clean. How do they get so neat is the question. And first off, I have to address that it's a stereotype. It's a myth that all homeless people are dirty. The homeless people you see on the streets, the visible homeless, street homeless, can be a little disheveled and dirty, but that's not the majority of homeless people. Majority of homeless people, you would never ever even notice that they're homeless. They're couch surfing or doing weekly rate hotels or sleeping in their car or doing whatever. And there's a good percentage of street homeless people that spend time every day taking care of themselves. I mean, it's hell when you don't have a home, but that doesn't mean that you stop taking care of yourself. It's a huge challenge. Hygiene is a huge challenge. But, you know, people, you know, it's interesting. So Brenda just talked about it in one of the most recent videos. I know Arian has talked about it before and a couple others. When there's a video on invisible people with a woman who is wearing makeup, people freak out. How could you be homeless and wear makeup? I think that's crazy. I mean, Brenda talks about she paid $3 for the lipstick. Arian talks about how she gets her makeup. You know, people, you've got to have self-esteem. You've got to take care of yourself. Just because a person looks good doesn't mean that they're not homeless. But great question. Thank you. For the love of nature, you are in the UK. Where in the UK? There's a, oh my gosh, I think it's called StreetLink, that is for people sleeping rough, that they can contact and get services. I don't know what city you're in. If you're in London, you have Thamesreach and St. Mungo's, and there's a whole lot throughout London, and the UK is Crisis. I actually am going to be in London in 2 weeks, and then in Cardiff, Wales. Hey Shelley, I'm so sorry that you were homeless, and thank you for your comments. Glad you see, I see the was there, so I'm glad that you're no longer homeless. Malka, I think is the name. If I pronounce names please forgive me. I wish there was a way that it would configure so that you would know how to pronounce the names a little better, because there's so many of you that join from other countries, and I really want to respect other cultures. Addie, who was homeless, brought up a good point. Dry shampoo and baby wipes. Baby wipes are priceless. Hi, Tim. Hey, Tumblebug. Cattywampus. Now, I don't know what comments you mean for support. I do check. I mean, there's so many comments on invisible people anymore. I do my best to look every day. I look 3 or 4 times a day, but I miss some. And somebody else suggested too, I mean, many people join a gym. I don't know what it's like in the UK. Here there's 24-hour fitness, Planet Fitness. The fee is like $10 a month. You can go take a shower. Hey, Leroy, where are you from in the Netherlands? I've been, Amsterdam a couple of times. In fact, there's some wonderful videos. Now, I didn't interview people that were homeless, but there's an outreach team. I'm going to say this wrong, but it's called Stratvogels, which I believe means street birds. That uses Twitter with homeless people based in the Netherlands. I think they're in 4 cities, and they started because of my work. So a couple of times I've been there, and the Salvation Army had a party, and all these homeless people came in by train, and I was so honored and touched. It was really an amazing experience. So Sunshine Girl, where are you? Where I know there's a lot of different ones in Los Angeles. In fact, I know of 3 different nonprofits running shelter services. I believe the gentleman talked about San Francisco, which I think is Lava May. Hey, for love of nature, I'm actually going to be in Manchester, hopefully in November. And there's support. There's support if you think you're going to be homeless. I don't know what the contact numbers are in the UK. I could advise you here, but I want to give you wrong information. Hey, Drone Journey. I am speaking in Cardiff on the 14th at a crisis conference, but I'm also going to be there on the 13th, where I'm going to be walking out on the street meeting rough sleepers, and also on the 15th. So if you can't make the conference, love to connect with you if possible. So I know, you know, for love of nature, if you find, so if any of you are homeless, not just for homeless people, there's a lot of great groups on Facebook for everybody else. But find us on Facebook at wearevisible.com. And I know some people in Manchester that may be able to help. At the very least, I can figure out a way of giving you some referrals. If you'd prefer, if you're, some people don't even like Facebook anymore, email me at mark@invisiblepeople.tv or at hardlynormal on Twitter, and I'll do the best I can to point you in the right direction. It's I thought I was, I try to be up, but as soon as I got this all set up, I kind of like got in a somber mood. I'm sorry. I'll have more energy, I promise. But Emma just asks how many people, and then how many souls have you seen over the years? I don't know how you do it. I would be broken away. Well, I've gained a lot of weight. That's one thing. And I have to get healthy. That's my personal big battle right now, is I have to get healthy. I got to lose this weight. I got a report from the doctor last week that wasn't very good. And I've been getting these reports for a while. So I've got to do something. I was asked, I was really honored this week to be in New York City, to be doing a television thing. I can't talk a lot about it, but I was asked that question. And I really think that I have been, this is my destiny. All the experiences that led for me to be where I am today, each played a part. And I do sincerely care for everybody. But thank you for the question. Did Charlie join us? I see somebody there saying so. Yeah, Charlie's in the house. So Charlie, somebody asked earlier how to stay clean. Maybe you can give some tips. Mr. Sherwood, can I recommend that you have some kind of a consistent name? Because if you didn't speak up or leave the hint there, I would have never known. Carlos? A new cape. Candy, thank you, but I'm no Superman. Yeah, Melka, what I have to do is eat less, move more. Eat less, move more. Any ghost? I don't know what area you're in, what city. They're, what they call the CES, the Coordinated Entry System. You need to get your sister, if you haven't already, into the Coordinated Entry System, and they should be able to find you a supportive housing solution. At least that's how the system is to work. Hey, Vegan Gem. Hey, Tina, thank you. Yeah, that's actually my problem. But and I don't know how many of you know that my mom is in the nursing home, so I've been kind of balancing everything. There's some I actually wouldn't have left, but there's some things going on that were amazing opportunities. So what I'm going to do is travel and head back, and travel and head back. And, everything works for a purpose. I don't want to say I'm glad my mom went into a nursing home, but I feel a little bit more comfortable that I can travel. but I can't travel for long. I actually, you know what's interesting? I feel a little empty. And it's, you know, I was taking care of my mom and the dog, and then I have to do New York City this week, and then LA tomorrow, and I just felt a little empty. It's kind of strange. Hi, Dan. Thank you very much. Susanna, you know, it's interesting. She's asking or suggesting to have celebrities donate to your cause. It's celebrities are people. Homeless people are people. Celebrities like causes, just like most people. I mean, people don't support homelessness. They blame homelessness on the person. It's their fault instead of lack of affordable housing. And because of that, they don't support it. And it's the same with celebrities. Celebrities pick causes. Polly from NCIS is a huge supporter of ending homelessness, and there's a couple of others, but it's rare even to get celebrities to fight homelessness. Tumblebug, yes, I would. Thanks, love, Ryan. Back at you. Steve, you're exactly right. Eat smart, eat less, move more. Rika, is it Rika the hopeful? No, I haven't seen their live stream, and I apologize if I stumbled over your name. Hey, love, Ryan, we'll need all the donations we can. I still am not able to do this full time. It limits, but I'm here to talk to you guys. I'm not here to raise money. So, electronics tech. I am going to be delivering Charlie socks personally this Wednesday. Tumblebug, I gotta agree. Brian, I have been to Tulsa a couple of times. In fact, there's a powerful story of a single dad, homeless with his daughter out of Tulsa that I'll never forget. Enrique, so your question is how, or basically a statement. You're hoping that I help them make better choices. The leading cause of homelessness is lack of affordable housing. Nobody chooses to be homeless. You probably have the misunderstanding that homelessness is a result of bad decisions. And we all make bad decisions. And some people end up homeless because of bad decisions. Some people end up in bad jobs or in bad situations or in bad marriages, or they have all kinds of financial crisis or different things because of bad decisions. That's human. But the majority of homeless people ended up on the streets not because of a choice. Okay, I am starting to agree with Addie, Tumblebug. So Pearl Bubbles, you brought up a great question, because one of the things that I hear a lot is where's their daughter, where's their mother, where's their brother, where's their aunt, why didn't family take care of them? And I always respond, how was your last Thanksgiving? Relationships are hard. Now, I'm the type of person where I make friends pretty much for life. I mean, the best relationships that I have worked through conflict. And that's, friends love always, and a brother is born for adversity. I think that's Proverbs 17:17. Oh my gosh, I'm quoting Bible. That doesn't happen a lot. But let's say, so there's a wonderful video of Monica, and she has 5 or 6 kids. And she's talking about living with her sister and living with her brother. And, they couldn't make it themselves. So now you have 6 other people to feed when you can't even feed your own kids. It makes it tough. And I got to add that I don't think it's that they don't care. It's just they're not able to help. Hopefully that makes sense. No, Lady T, I'm not taking anybody to church. To me, church. So I'll be honest. Church to me is community, and church to me is helping others. It's not singing a song or listening to a sermon. That to me is not church. Church to me is helping your neighbors and being there for them and creating a community that loves unconditionally. So in that sense, let's go out and help people. And that's church. So Pearl, I know there's, situations where people, even though they're experiencing poverty, have raised other people, and there's other situations where they haven't, and each situation is different. So I know if I had a family member that I personally would do everything that I can to help them. But if I'm in a situation like I am right now, I don't have an income. I don't have an income right now. If there's a couple of really cool things coming up, I can't talk about them. I'm sorry, I just can't. I've actually got my hand slapped a little bit because I talked about the New York City one more than I should have. And there's another one coming up. They're both really, really awesome. And if they weren't happening, I'd actually be moving. I'm moving out of this apartment back into my mom's. Now, part of it is so I can be there for my mom. I don't want to I'll think that the whole decision is because I don't have money, but the other one is I don't have money. So I am moving in with my mom, and if I had a family member that was dependent on me, they would have no place to go unless they're able to move in with mom, and mom doesn't have it. So I see where I'm going is that sometimes if a family member is able to help, I believe they try to, and then sometimes even though they want to, they're not able to, and each situation is different. And basically what I'm saying is don't judge. It's really easy to look over and say, why didn't they do this? But when it's your life and your situation, often we have to make decisions that, so I try. Where I go crazy is when there's a family member that's taking advantage of another family member. Now, I've run into situations where a family member has rented out a room to another family member that, in a huge, like crazy rent, far more than renting out a room should cost. However, that person had bad credit and couldn't go anyplace else. So the family member was taking advantage of the situation. Now that drives me crazy. So Keith, somebody said earlier today, in response to something, Keith here says homelessness can happen to anyone, and somebody responded, Ivanka Trump will never be homeless. I thought that was funny and true. So, homelessness can happen to most everyone. And that's interesting. Yes, Tina, I got that too. I thought about that a lot. I really did, because obviously the Trumps are very wealthy. I don't do the political thing here, so let's stay away from that. But I thought that was just a pretty interesting comeback to it can happen to anyone. So any ghost, that's a great question, but I don't think there's I do know Massachusetts has great health care. Boston Homeless Health Care is an amazing facility. They do a lot. They have like 165 doctors and nurses that go to all the shelters, and they actually have their own facility that's really awesome. But that's because Romney, when he was governor, made it so that they can bill for homelessness health care. So I do know Massachusetts has amazing health care for homeless people, but there's no perfect place. Hey, Stimu, I love, so mid-career change, and it's awesome that you're trying to get into med school, and I just want to encourage you and anybody that's trying to make change. So many people stay in jobs and careers that they just don't like. And I get it. I have friends that, they have families and they're secure and they stay in their jobs because of their families. And I don't have a family, so or I don't have kids. So it's easier for me to make decisions and say this, but life is all we have, and sometimes change is good. That's why they say unexpected unemployment can be, and it has been. I mean, invisible people would have never started if I had stayed in the position that I was in. So Ben, I will be in the UK in Manchester in November. I'm actually going to be in London and Cardiff in 2 weeks. But I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Ben is talking about how housing alone won't end homelessness, and you just can't put people into boxes. It's a lot more complicated. But I totally agree with you. And I know behind the scenes a little bit in Manchester, there's a big push for housing first and getting people into housing. And that's great and it's important, but people need tangible social interaction. They need more than just four walls. So Vegematic, I'm going to piggyback off of Ben's a little bit. So a tiny home is just a box. It's, and tiny homes been around. I don't know. I was in Sweden last year and Norway, and I was going through the woods, with the car or whatever, driving places. And I was on a bus actually. And I was blown away by all the people that live in tiny homes. So it's not anything new. The thing is, and every time it's interesting, every time there's a news story about railroad shipping containers or igloos for the homeless, it's like, oh, we got this big sexy solution. Let's put homeless people in this. And going back to what Ben just said, and it's so true, is people need social interaction, they need community, they need health services. It's not a tiny homes. I've seen tiny homes done right a couple of times. What concerns me is some people do tiny homes just to do tiny homes. They totally forget that it's humans inside. Hey, Enrique, thank you very much. So Rebel Ragger 88, hopefully I'm saying that right. So I'll go back to my visit to Norway. I mean, everything's free college, healthcare, but they pay 40% of their income in taxes, and we don't want to do that. So if you look at all the companies, or not all the companies, all the countries that have healthcare, universal healthcare, they are paying huge taxes. And we don't want to do that. And until we as a society, and we can scream about healthcare all we want, but people have to, And yeah, the big pharmaceuticals and everything, there's greed, and there's greed in every sector. But the issue is we don't want to pay for it out of our taxes. And until that, so, automation is going to kill jobs. Affordable housing is still going to be a crisis. It's this homelessness thing is just, the numbers are just going to increase. And one of the things that will help that is a universal income. And people are talking about it. I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of the big, leader CEOs are talking about universal basic income. But if we can't have universal basic health care, we're never going to have universal basic income. Oh my gosh, Vegematic, thank you. So Dan, I don't know if I agree with that. So Dan's saying that we're better off by not paying huge taxes and paying for everything ourselves. I can't afford healthcare. I can't. And even when I was working, and I work in executive marketing, and I often get good salaries, healthcare was just way too expensive. And when I go over to the UK, here in the United States, I don't know where you live, and this is a great conversation. Thanks for bringing it up. Here in the United States, you see a lot of homeless people in wheelchairs or mental illness, and you don't see that in the UK because their healthcare system kicks in before they're homeless or helps them get off the streets. To me, I would pay more taxes to have free healthcare. I definitely would. For everybody, and not just for me, for everybody. Hey, Loa Blue, thank you. I've been trying to do this, at least once a week. I know I was late. I had to go into New York City for something. I can't yet talk about it, but it's really cool. So here I am getting ready to go to LA tomorrow, and I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I really should be trying to stuff as many socks as I can into a duffel bag for LA. But I hadn't talked to you guys for a while and thought I'd set it up for a chat. Hey, maybe you guys can answer something, because you guys are just amazing. And obviously you're YouTubers, but the views and watch minutes on Invisible People have been dropping significantly. Do you know why that is? Do you have any idea? Anybody have an idea why the views and watch minutes have dropped? I mean, significantly. I have a feeling YouTube has changed their algorithms. Because, I mean, it was YouTube spikes every now and then. You get a video that everybody likes and it spikes, and it could be an older video, and all of a sudden it gets caught in the algorithms. But there was this constant level of views, and it's not there anymore. It's about 50% down at the moment. It's starting to climb back up a little, and I'm just wondering, I think it's the algorithm, actually. I tried a couple of things to fix it. Didn't seem to fix. So maybe you guys have some ideas. Wow, Charlie, 400 a month for healthcare for 3 people is cheap. Wow. So Emma, that is one thing. Well, first off, the socks that I'm packing are for Los Angeles, and what I found is it's cheaper for me to pay for that added suitcase than it is to take a cab or an Uber to a Walmart. And but if you know of places in London or Cardiff, you know what, Charlie, it's weird is I had all kinds of energy, and then I set up the computer, I clicked live, started to talk, and oh my gosh, something hit me, so I feel exhausted. So thank you for noticing. And since I went live, I figured I would stay with you guys, because it would be awful rude of me to say hello and then just, disappear. But yeah, I'm exhausted, and my couple weeks of madness is just starting, and I don't know why. I just all of a sudden, I had all this energy, and I said, oh, I'm gonna go live on YouTube and talk to all my friends, and bam. So, hey folks, I am going to say goodnight to everybody. I am exhausted, and I do have to pack, and I got to get up really early tomorrow, extremely smoking early. I got the last flight, or the first flight out, which is the last seat, because everything is just happening so fast and last minute, and I'm exhausted. So I apologize I haven't had the energy tonight. I'm not going to post this publicly. I'll leave it unlisted for a while. Psychic Octopus, can you recommend some good organizations that help homeless people in Canada? And I rarely recommend a religious organization unless it's a religious organization that doesn't try to force religion on you. I don't know what city you're in, so if you happen to be in Vancouver, the Portland Hotel Society, probably what I would do, because I don't know, is I would reach out to the Canadian Alliance to End Homelessness, and they would know what organization. I know Salvation Army in Ottawa is really good. Some cities, Salian is not great. Some is really awesome. In Ottawa, it's really good. Vegematic, thank you, and thank you for the encouragement. And yeah, it's just strange, because I did all this work to just bring all the traffic up, and it was great, and we were growing, and then all of a sudden it just took a nosedive, and I'm working on trying to bring it back up. But for me, looking at the analytics, it looks like that they had made changes to the algorithms. Thanks everybody for the well wishes. I'm fine. I just, one of those things where you just lose your energy, and all of a sudden when I went live, I lost my energy. And I know somebody earlier was saying they're close to Cardiff. I'm going to be in Los Angeles. If any of you are in Los Angeles, please say hello. I'm going to be hanging out with Charlie. Asylum Seeker, I am in UK. I will be in London on the 10th, the 11th. I go to Cardiff on the 12th, and then I am back in London on the 16th for a couple of days. And then I got to come back and move. So if anybody wants to come to Syracuse and help me pack boxes, at first I got to figure out, oh my gosh, all these, I got to move what's at my mom's house so I can make room for my stuff. It's strange because, you know, I was homeless. And this is stuff. So I know how to live without stuff. I've lost my house with everything in it. I lost my apartment with everything in it a couple of times. So why am I so attached to stuff? But I am, and I think we all get attached to stuff. Now for me, because I was homeless, it's a little bit, you know, it's like a symbol to me, like if I lose it. So I got to figure out. Emma, I do. It's at Invisible People is the main Instagram. So folks, I wish you all a good night. I'm going to bring a webcam with me as I travel overseas. I don't know what time I am going to be talking to you all, but I'll try. And so a lot of this has been very experimental to me so that I can learn how to interact with you guys, read the chats, and so I don't and establish a format. I've tried a couple of different things. Many of you already know this. And so that I can get more used to this format so I can provide better live streams for you guys. And when we do that, we'll be able to do more of this on a regular basis. That's the goal. So everybody, you guys have a wonderful evening, and thanks for spending an hour with me.